All right, so what's up? This is Own County. This is the first episode of a continuous series. I want to first start off with this is a sponsorship by Hustle Sports. My bro Brand is filming. He taking off with it. Go get you some shirts. I have more information on that a little bit later, and I will tag bro name in this to go follow him and the page. Of course, I'm Dallas Spaz Slumpy. You know what I'm saying? But I want to give a great introduction to who gonna be a regular. My mother, who I do everything for. I love her.
Hey everybody, as this is my son. As you know, you've seen pictures of us. All the stuff is true. We are cooler than a fan. We ride until the wheels fall off. We get on each other's nerves, but we are about family. So we're always gonna be cool. So welcome to our first episode of On
Count me. So we're gonna start off with my mother giving the quote of the day. So I'll let her go ahead and take care of that.
All right. So the quote of the day is basically hurt people hurt people. What I mean by that is past relationships or past things that you've been in. What you do is when you've been hurt, then you get into another relationship, whether it be with whomever, and you hurt them. So at the end of the day, you have to fact check yourself. Make sure that you're good. Don't go from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship, because what you start doing is leaving a stream of hurt folks. So you're in a relationship, it doesn't work out, start loving yourself. Pause for a moment, marinate on what happened, keep going, make sure you're good, and it's all about self-love. If you don't love you, nobody else is.
So today our topic, of course, is I had to start it off with men versus women, or of course, like I like to say, shorties. So
Which I don't agree with. I think shorties can be a disrespectful term because that's almost like I don't know your name. You just, hey, shorty. But go ahead.
But I don't want to be. I don't want to start off being a woman hater or anything along those lines. I value and appreciate all women out there, independent strictly. So, but this just be some things that y'all be doing that I just don't understand. And also now I have a person that can explain that from y'all role, and I can explain some of the things that we do from our role. But I won't be breaking no God code. We're not doing that. So I'll start off with a lot of things I've been experienced. Why do women always need reinsurance with everything?
That's a good question. So this aspect of it is, which I know I don't look my age, but I am 51. So I'm going to give it to you from a fact check of just being a woman. There is a difference between being a lady. There's a difference between being a woman and a girl. Experience comes with time. And it goes back to what I said about loving yourself. People sometimes feel like they have to be in a relationship with someone in order to show who they are. You don't. You have to love yourself first. So when people or women in general, and even men, need reinsurance, that means that they're lacking something inside of them that they hope this other person is going to give them. Do you think I'm cute? Do you love me? Or are you going to be my man? Or are you going to be my woman? Those are things, when you confident and your confidence level is sky high, you don't need nobody to validate you. But also, it goes back to hurt, as I said, hurt people hurt people. Somewhere down in the line, somebody has disrespected them. So now, every relationship they get in, they think this person is out to get them. Which is not true, but because they didn't resolve the past, this has caused issues in their present. But it's also about it's a difference between a girl and a woman. Would you agree with that?
I definitely would. In my little past experiences, I have seen where it be like the smallest things that be looked at as reinsurance or considered as effort. Like, oh, you went and bought yourself something, you didn't buy me nothing. Oh, you don't care about me. So it's just, I started to know the more I dealt with other women. And not saying that I just be running around messing with all of them. You know what I'm saying? It's just starting to figure out how certain tendencies that women have in general that you have to learn as you get older, going from, high school to being an adult. But still, some of the stuff just don't be making sense. And on top of that, I'm nonchalant, so I really don't be caring especially if we don't have nothing, how should I say, already in place for us to go forward. So if it's just like, oh, we just talking and not doing nothing, I really at that point really don't have no too much caring. Like 5% is put up, but it's just the constant reinsurance. But I understand that from a lot of other dudes probably messing it up in general, which is in general aspect causes a lot of women to have trust issues and have that wall build up and not wanting to move forward with another relationship because what a past relationship has done to them, which is completely understandable. But in that sense, what I like to always say is you have to give somebody a clean slate to even start off being in a relationship with them. Because if you going in already thinking it's not going to work, anything that they do is not going to be seen as good to you because in your mind you already thinking that this is not good, this is not going to work, this is anything along the lines. It's like the old relationship or I just don't want to do this. So you have to give what I think somebody a clean slate, like allow them to mess up, allow them to fix a problem that they have caused. Don't just be like, oh, this a red flag. Oh, he breathed like the old dude. This old, you know what I'm saying?
Smell like the other person.
Yeah,
Right.
like at least give us a chance. And that's what I be seeing a lot of times from women in general. They just don't want to be hurt again. But this is a relationship and this love and all that is a 50-50 thing. It's a cause and effect. It's a trial and error. You will never completely know if somebody's good for you off rip just by a quality or an aspect that they have. You have to go through a challenge with them. I think relationships only work based on if you could get through problems. If we haven't had a major problem or a major issue and it's just been all good between me and a shorty, that's not a relationship to me. Like I don't believe in that because what's to say if we have a problem, you can fully figure out if that person is down for you, just like any other aspect in life. When things get rough, you see how people's true character comes out. And if we don't have that, this is not a relationship. This is not TV. This is not acting. Relationships are based on building together, and the best relationships come from them having problems early on and they fixing it. Communication, which is a key part into why a lot of relationships don't work because people just don't communicate.
Well, I mean, I agree with you on that aspect of it, but also I think a lot of times with age comes wisdom. Now, people can be my age and still be slow. And I'm not trying to offend nobody. What I mean by slow is maturity level. But here's the deal. With anything in life, if you going to think about any job that you've been on or interview with, right? You go in, you put on your best outfit, you sending in your representative. Nobody, and trust me when I say this, sends in their self when they are applying for a job. Because the key is to get this job. So you send in your representative, look, hey, I need you to go in. I want you to be the best that you can be. You are on the sidelines waiting for your representative to go in there and secure the job. And then what happens is when you do get the job, now the old Dallas has come. The representative done did their job. Now you or what you're bringing to the table is your work ethic on point. Or you're going to be on time, or you're going to do. So it's the same thing with relationships. We put our best foot forward because we want to attract this guy or this girl, right? So you sending in it's almost like sending in your quarterback. You know, you sending that person or your point guard or whoever. You're sending in that person in hopes. But what people don't do is that they don't take the time to mess up. You have to be uncomfortable a lot of times. I think that when you're starting a relationship, it's better to get all this stuff out of break everything and start building it up. There is not one woman, Dallas, or anybody out there that you're going to meet, or one man that's not going to come with baggage or past things. Past things make you stronger. It's a testimony to who you're going to be. So the bottom line is, for what I've seen with you is, are you willing to look past that? You're short. I know this, everybody, because I see this. Dallas is short. If you're not doing it, okay, I'm done messing with you. It's not past 2. It's just 1. If you're not 1, then you're not going to get to 2. You could be missing out on someone because that person is trying to figure you out like you're figuring them out. So what I would suggest is take this aspect, get past the looks, because you can be cute on the outside but ugly on the inside. See what you look at that person and say, listen, what aspects of this person do I like? Okay, yeah, they're doing this, but if it's something, is it something I can tolerate? Because you'll never know when you can get to, this might be your diamond, but it's disguised as a ruby. But you're not giving it an opportunity. Now, let me go back. It could be a diamond, and a ruby is nice, but a ruby is not as worth as much as a diamond. Sometimes you have to put the work in. And what I noticed with you is you're very short. You don't give people the opportunity. The first relationship that a man has is his mother. Were relationships that some people don't have their mother around. Some people don't have, everybody's not equipped to be a parent. And some examples of parenting is not the best. I've made mistakes, but these are things that we show so that you know how to show up in your life. So my suggestion for you and for anyone out there is take a look at this person that you're looking at. Are they worth the fight? Is it really this person that you're in this relationship with, or is it their representative? Because keep in mind, their representative is there to secure the bag. They have a mission. I want to get this guy. I want to get this girl. You need to go in and you need to be the best that you can be. But that's not who they are. At the end of the day, 3 months down the line, then this person ain't they're a piece of filling the rest. I'm just saying.
Wow. I feel that. And a lot of times, a lot of tendencies that you like to say that I have, nonchalant, non-caring, asshole sometimes. But as I look at it, how can you be mad at somebody for keeping the truth about anything? So yes, I can use better selection of words to say I'm conveying what I want to tell a shorty, but sometimes the truth hurts sometimes, and I like to just keep it 100. But yes, it is some asshole tendencies, but hey.
But it's about the delivery of it. I don't think it's necessarily, and I'm all about keeping it real. But when you're dealing, women read in color, men read in black and white.
Oh, man.
We're going to always be more sensitive because that's how we are. Women want to be nurtured. They want to feel important. They have to be validated, in other words. So I think when you have this I don't care attitude or quit crying attitude or why you not like that attitude, to where that could come across that of non-caring. So I think for you it's just, no one has to change who they are. There's no such thing. When you are born into the person that you are. What you do is you adjust to each person. Okay? So you adjust. For instance, like my supervisor, she has 15 people. She has to adjust to all these different personalities. We only have one supervisor. So you have to be able, when you're looking at relationships, to be able to adjust. It's just like fine-tuning certain things. Not changing who you are, but it's adjusting to maybe fitting that person. And like I've shared with you before, and Dallas will tell you this, everyone, I'm a big believer in what people personal experiences. What you project to people, that is their personal experience. Even though you might say, that's not what I meant to do. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I didn't mean to hurt you. Well, it hurt them because that is their personal experience that they have. You can't take that away. And a lot of times when you're having a conversation with someone, one thing that I've learned is there's a difference between hearing and listening. When you're actually hearing someone, you just wait for them, okay, yep, all right, I'll be glad when this person finishes what they got to say. Yeah, but anyway, yeah, okay. When you're actually listening to someone, you're picking up. And what you want to start with is, what I heard you say is this. Meaning that I heard this, and I might not agree with what you're saying, but this is what I heard. So I think for you, now that you are now 24, and I'm hoping and praying this is a good guy, but I know that he has to get back. Like I tell him all the time, he doesn't have the tools necessary to build bricks of a relationship. He doesn't have the tools. Not a bad person, no kids, never been in jail. He might have hurt a couple people unintentionally, but I think it's about the delivery. But as a mother of a man, it is my duty to make sure that whoever he connects with, that he's not being hurtful. And that's all that I ever want for you. I want to make sure that you're good and you're just not out here just leaving a string of people hurt. Because hurt people hurt people. Because that same girl you heard, she's not going to go, next man I get, man, I'm going to slam him, all this, whatever y'all say, slam or hurt him or whatever. But it's just about making sure that we are being respectful and we are just delivering the information. The truth is necessary, but it's not always welcome.
I feel that. It's just as an aspect, I already have, how should I put it, what I'm looking for in a shorty and a woman, because I look at the aspects that you have. You're independent, you don't need too much, you just about your business at the end of the day. So when I go around looking for somebody that I potentially want to be my girlfriend to becoming my wife in the future, if they don't have them certain aspects, we have no conversation. If you're not independent, loyal, and out the way, you can't even get a high from me. That's all it is. Like, I don't mess with none of that. You have to have them three aspects to even get a look from me. And that could sound conceited, but that's just a standard that I think a lot of people just in general from a man don't follow. Like, I don't mess with passing arounds. Excuse me, hoes. Not all y'all hoes, but if you get a pass around, you's a hoe. So you can't get a high from me if you a pass around it easy. I should have to put in some work. I feel like a lot of things to get a woman, which goes back to the old days, I feel like I should have to put in work just to get certain things. Your number, I should not just be able to get your number off the first time I was talking. I should at least have to put in some work. So that's why I asked for social medias, to at least give her the opportunity to see that how I'm living or what I be talking about on social media that she want to even look into, because that interest just off of a first take, hi, bye, what's her name, it's really not interest a lot. You have the interest come from your second, your third date, the more you be around each other. So I feel like I should have to work for a lot of things. Me pulling up to your house, I feel like I should not be able to pull up to a shorty house just in a week or two. I should have to work for that, because I'm not gonna tell no shorty where I stay at.
Right.
Nah, because she could be crazy, try to rip that car outside. I'm cool on that. We could kick it, but you're not gonna know where I stay at. So I understand that. I'm fully all about consent. Like, consent is very high to me. I don't do nothing that's not consensually given to me by a shorty first. Even if she does say consent and then later on say no, I have no problem with doing that. I'm all about consent. I don't do none of that weird raping stuff. You'll never get that from me. I don't do that over here.
Right.
So it's
but
just
you have to realize that what you're asking for is, a lot of times in life, people don't have the tools. When you are being brought up, everybody's situation is different. Some people are raised by their parents. Some people are raised by a single parent. Some people are raised by their dad, their grandmother. They might have been in foster care. Everybody has a story. Everybody's story is different. When you don't have the tools and you're not fully prepared to show up in your relationships, what you're asking could not be something that's possible. They don't know how to show up with that. So, like the independent piece of it, it could very well be that maybe in the past, all they've known is to rely on this guy and, or this guy. Same for men. Men too. Sometimes men don't work. Not sometimes, quite often, there's people who don't work. They might have relied on this woman and this woman. But we're a product of our environment. Everyone doesn't have a portrait or a manual to follow. So what I'm saying is that a lot of times in life, you do have to, like you said, you're getting to know this person. Hey, you're getting to know about family. Okay, well, I wasn't raised with my mom. Okay, I wasn't raised with my dad, or I was raised with my aunt. She was terrible. We don't know what a person's history is. So a lot of times in life, we have to be not necessarily saying that you're judging, because what you're doing is you basically model, okay, I see my mom doing this. I expect everybody to be like this. Everybody can't. They're not going to be that. I'm not in a relationship. I just feel like the way that I was raised is to be independent. I want to be able to do for myself and if I am in a relationship, to add to it. I've always said, and I've told both of my children this: in life, when you're in a relationship, you want someone that will add to your life, not take away from. When people start taking away from what you're doing, they become toxic. You do not want that. You want someone, and you should want to level up. When you're looking at a relationship, your expectations should be sky high. It shouldn't be where you settle. So that is the reason why I'm not in a relationship, because I refuse to settle for anything. My whole thing is I want to make sure that this person is going to compliment me. So I just think the pool of people that you have, especially based on your age and what is happening in society today, is going to be a little bit difficult for you. But I think also it goes back to you, Dallas. You got to bend a little bit. You're not a bender. You don't bend. You still don't bend. You have to be able to, I think my hopes for you is that the older that you get, that you will not necessarily give people the benefit of the doubt, but just kind of sit back for a moment and go, what are their circumstances? What are they trying to bring to the table? You know, sometimes we have to make sure that everybody's not born into greatness. They have to get there. Everybody don't have the tools. They don't have the blueprint. They don't have that to do it. Some people don't find that until later on in life. You know, but have you ever thought maybe that you're the person that can connect and bring out that for that person? But if you just shutting everyone down and going, I expect you to do this, I expect you to do this, I expect you to do this, maybe they don't have the tools. Everybody, Dallas gets on me. If I try to go and put air in the tire, Mom, you make me look bad.
Facts.
But
Facts.
I have just always been independent. I believe that a woman should bring just as much in a relationship to a man. That is your helpmate. You know, I'm not big on women just saying, well, this man is going to, you know, my boyfriend, my man, my husband, he does everything. I don't have to do nothing. You can work him to death. If you both are working, okay, maybe he pays the rent and everything like that. You should still be, everybody should contribute to the household. Because let me tell you one thing. We're one check away from a bad situation. Let us all stop not working. That same person that you depended on, now you have to step up. So sometimes in a relationship, it can be 50-50. Sometimes it's 80-20. Sometimes it's, 70-30. Sometimes it's 40. But if it is to the point to where you each other have your back and you're trying to reach for greatness, greatness is a team effort. You have to have people in your circle that are promoting you for greatness. In order to be great, you have to surround yourself with great people. You don't need to be with anyone else that is taken away from you. But that person might need to get there. Everybody's not born great. Hey, listen, I came out great. I know everything. I make mistakes. I'm going to continue to make mistakes. It's what you learn from and what you give. And that's why I try to instill in you and try to show everybody can be, if you're looking at them to be a mirror of Latrice, they might be Latrice, but they might be Latrice, 0.7. Everybody cannot be that because everybody's built differently. So my whole thing is, I think that you have to basically look at it and say, is it this person or is it their representative? Think about that. You done applied for a job before and just wanted to get the job, and you like, man, I'm cool now. Well, I'm gonna do whatever I need to do. You send in your representative.
Out of pocket.
It wasn't you.
It's just the high quality gotta be too. Like I mess with high quality, tree high quality.
I understand,
So,
but everybody doesn't have that blueprint. You've seen a house. Everybody has seen a house going up. Do you think they just go out there and every day the contractor's like, well, what we gonna do today? No, they have a blueprint. And sometimes that blueprint has to be changed. Sometimes the weather conditions add to that. Sometimes the money is funny and everybody doesn't have the tools to finish or the resources to do it. Everybody doesn't have the tools to build the best version of themselves. Everybody doesn't have that. Sometimes you have to get tools. Just like when you go into a hardware store, if you're trying to build something, you might need an Allen wrench, you might need a Phillips, you might need this, you might need that. That is why there is a aisle of selection of different tools for different jobs.
Mm.
And in relationships, you have to be willing to bend. And you have to be willing to say, is this person? I mean, seriously, just ask, is this person the best version of themselves, or is it their representative? Because if it's their representative is going to show up for years and years and years and years. They're never going to be the best version of themselves. So that's my take on it.
And she didn't put me on blast, talking about she be doing the air of the tire. Look, I want everybody out there to know, I be on treat case about touching stuff. I refuse to let my mother, even though she do it. Now, this is my thoughts on the stuff. I'm not going to let my mother do certain things that, as a man, I should do. It's certain things as a man that you just should do. Like open the door, put air in the tire, change the spare. But, how I was going back on the point of independent. If my girl, I don't want my girl, so let's say, example, something wrong in the house. I don't want my girl to just sit there in the house all day and not even at least look up how to fix the problem or look up who should she call to fix the problem. I should not have to come home and hear, oh, something wrong with this. I didn't know what to do. Like, at least, it's just the thought of at least attempting to know this. It's certain information, like my mother like to say, it's the knowledge piece of it, because I'm not always going to be around to do certain things. I'm not going, what if she driving somewhere and the tire pressure is low and she don't know how to change the tire? Now, what's she going to do? Just sit on the side of the road all day and wait for me to come get her? When she could at least looked up on YouTube. It's certain, we have things out there to teach us how to do certain things. It's technology. Everything has been advanced. You should know, I feel like my shorty should at least be knowledgeable in certain things, because my mother is knowledgeable in a lot of things. Will I make her do certain man aspect things? No, if I'm around? No. Change the light, change this, change that? No. But I know for sure that she is good if I'm not around. I will never be concerned with my mother knows how to maneuver or adapt to certain situations, because she has the tools and the knowledge, and the want is the key to want to do that. A lot of women in general, which I see a lot, is y'all want us to be very dependent on us. I done had a lot of run-ins with shorties. Oh, can you do this? Or, oh, can you go do this? Which is fine. It's understandable. But at least, what are you going to do if I'm not around? Like, you should not be dependent on me. I feel like this. No shorty should need me to continue to be successful. You should be good without me. I'm here just to make things easier, just to be, exactly, just to add to. Should not be the 100% motivation for you to go do something. If we start talking, it should not be, oh, you made me want to get up and go chase my dreams now. No, you should always be able to do that, because guess what? If we end up falling out or not being together no more, now what you gonna do? You were so dependent on me. Now that your motivation is gone, you're not gonna want to go accomplish nothing else in life, and now you're just gonna sit there looking for the next dude to be that motivational piece for you, which it should not be like that. You should be good with or without me.
Right. But that, please let this be a disclaimer. He is not saying that all people are like this, all women are like this. But I would say this. That is society. Society, the women that I see now, whether they are my age or young or dependent, I have never wanted to do that. That's not something I've ever done. That's not something I've ever shown my son. His dad was unfortunately taken away when Dallas was not even a year, or maybe a year, close to a year. So I have to, and I'll never say that I've been mother and father, because a woman can never take a place of a father. Father is an instrument that is in a person that is there. He could teach that son or a daughter things that are differently from a woman aspect. What I have done is stepped in to be the parent, with that, and done the sacrifices. I never had people around my son. I never did things because I wanted to make sure that I was being a good blueprint for him to see what you can do. I agree with you 100%. I think everybody should be knowledgeable or at least know what resources I need. If in fact you do not know how to, if it says low tire pressure, what do I need to do to look it up? Do I have a AAA card? Do I have other resources to do things? Am I doing something else instead of, well, now the tire is flat. Well, what did you do? Well, I was waiting on you to get home. I'm not a big believer in that. And the reason why I'm the way that I am is because my parent and my grandparent showed me independent to get out there and do it. My grandfather was in my life. Him and my grandmother were together, but my grandmother was the strong glue to that relationship. She didn't rely on my grandfather to do things. He was the breadwinner. He went to work. My grandmother took care of, so it was a partnership. So I completely agree with you, and I just think it goes back to what I said about having the tools. Society now, all these videos, everything tells you need to have a man. My man takes care of me. And please don't think I'm just saying this because I don't have a man, 'cause I can get somebody. So this is my choice. Like, if I wanted to be in a relationship, I could.
She don't need nobody.
But what I'm saying to you is that in my whatever relationship, if I choose to move forward into a relationship, I want to make sure I'm being the best version of Latrice and bringing something to the table. If you coming over somebody's house to eat and you coming empty-handed or with a foil paper or the saran wrap, when you're coming to bring something. I want to add to my husband or to my significant other relationship. I want to bring a knowledge base. And I'll give you an example. My first car that I had to learn how to drive a stick, or manual as they call it. A lot of women do not know how to drive. A lot of men don't know how to drive a manual, right? So I want to have it to where I'm bringing certain things to my relationship. What if it's something that to where he is in a situation to where his car goes out and he has a stick shift and I have to come get him? That's me adding to us. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here hustling, chasing the bag. I'm adding to this, or if he comes and said, hey, babe, listen, especially with this pandemic, they cut my hours at work. Baby, I got us. This is why you got to have a plan. People say plan A, B, you should have a B plan. You need to have a B, C, D. You need to do whatever it takes to make sure that your family is good. You can't just rely on one person. It's too much to rely on one person. And who's to say that the man has to do everything? Sometimes it's the woman going out there chasing the bag and the man is staying home caring for the children. Or maybe he has a goal that he's trying to be his own boss, right? So I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to make sure I go out here and I'm going to work this job so that we're adding to each other. So I completely agree. I personally don't think that it should be, that's a man's job, that's a woman's job. My husband should do this and I'm not getting ready to do it. He pays all the bills. When somebody pays all the bills, you don't have no say so. You ain't got no rights and privileges in there. Because let me tell you, if I was in a house and I was paying every single bill in the house and you felt like you wanted to make a decision, it would be a negative. No. As the old saying says, I pay the cost to be the boss. When you pay the cost on anything or you bringing something to the table, then you can speak on something. I know 2 relationships that the man was paying all the bills. And when a decision had to be made, he blatantly said, she don't pay no bills. She don't have no rights. Is that good because your husband, does that make you better than anybody else because your husband is paying for everything? No. And what is happening is that now that those are the dynamics in your household, now you're raising men or women to think, well, I need to have a man. If you want to get your nails done, go get your nails done. If your mate wants to surprise you, my whole thing is, I think it's better for a man to be, what I think is sexy? You're going to get your nails done. You're going to get your nails done. Your man knows that you go up here to whatever nail shop, right? He knows that you to make an appointment. He knows your nail technician, right? You go up there to get your nails done one day, and your nail tech said, your nails are paid for. What do you mean my nails are paid for? Because your dude your man, your boo, your babe, whatever, came up, paid, get a gift certificate or whatever, man, that is tough right there. That is saying that I value you and I respect you, and I'm thinking I'm doing this just because today is Wednesday. I'm buying you some flowers, not because it's Valentine's Day or this. So I think that we have to start asking our men to show up a little bit different, because if you with your hand down and you begging,